This is the meeting of the Middle School Building Committee, February 15th at 7:30 a.m. So I'm going to call the roll. Alexa Anderson. Court Booth.
Here.
Heather Bout.
Good morning.
Peter Fashalis.
Present.
Don Grelio.
Good morning, here.
Lori Hunter.
Good morning.
Tim Holt. I haven't seen Tim yet. Mark Howell.
Present.
Pat Nelson present. Charlie Popov. Chris Popov. Charlie
He said he
Parker.
wouldn't be here.
Good
sorry.
morning.
Chris emailed. He couldn't make it today.
Chris can't make it. Okay, thank you. Matt Root.
Morning.
Good morning. And Steven Stashewski.
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so I call this meeting to order. Do we want to do the approval of the meeting minutes from January 18th? Does anyone have any comments or questions about that?
I actually had, sorry, I didn't raise my hand. Pat, I had a quick comment, if that's okay.
Yeah, good morning, Heather.
Good morning. I just noticed in communications, it said that there was no communications, but it said I reported there was an email, but I don't think I did, or the other way around. Sorry, I'm not looking at it. I opened it on a different device, but I'm just remembering what I saw.
Yeah, I think it said that you reported there was an email.
Right, but it also said there were no emails. It was contradictory.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So-
Yeah, we'll clean that. We'll clean that
If you
up.
could just clean
So
up that.
Which one is it? There were no correspondence.
I think there were
was?
none. Yeah, I'm looking back. There were none
Yep,
before
none.
the last meeting.
So that's inaccurate and it gets struck. Is that correct, Heather?
The part that says I reported an email should be struck
Okay.
because it looks like, yeah, in terms of our public emails, last time we did not have a new one.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Do I hear call to vote to approve these?
I'll make a motion to approve with the edits that were described today.
Seconded.
Okay. All righty. Alexa Anderson. Court.
Not present, I'll abstain.
Okay. Heather.
Yes.
Peter Fashalis.
Yes.
Don Grelio.
Yeah.
Lori Hunter.
Yes.
Mark Howell.
Yes.
Pat Nelson, yes. Charlie Parker.
Yes.
Matt Root.
Yes.
And Steven Stachewski.
Yes.
Okay, I think I got everybody. All right, communications update, Heather.
We'll be very quick because again, there were no emails and there's really nothing new to communications, which is just that we're doing our periodic, milestone-based updates. And
Okay,
Lori sends a bunch of good social media too, but same, so no updates really.
okay. All right, Hill. Ian,
Thank
You're
you. Share my screen. Okay. You guys can see that agenda.
yep,
So we'll go through a financial update and we've got a change order to review today. Change order number 4 from CTA and then just a construction progress report. So I'll jump right into the financials. And this was all in your packet as well. So let me know if you have any questions along the way. But as far as updates go on the construction side, we've got committed costs. This 108,751 includes the change order number 4 that we're going to review today. We've got forecasted costs in there from PCOs, potential changes that we've received from CTA, forecasted. So those will run all the way down into potential risks. On the committed side, we've got 98.6 million committed, 12.8 uncommitted, to tie out to the total project budget. Expenditures to date are a little over 32 million, which leaves a balance of 79.4 in the budget. So that is the summary. Any questions? Cash flow, again, our goal here is to actualize everything through the previous months, and make sure that the estimated expenditures in this column tie out to the actual expenditures in this column, and then push all the projections forward. So that's what we did again this month. So in the month of February, we had 2.8 million in actuals, which ties out to the 32 and change for expenditures to date, and then just projecting everything forward. This is the construction column here, which is essentially CTA's projections, and then we have OPM, designer, FF&E, contingency. The 4.2 again is the contingency buckets that we don't anticipate touching in any way. Those were the bid savings contingency and the bid contingency there. So just showing that in red, but need to account for it on the on the total cash flow. So any questions?
Pat, if I might,
Yeah, go ahead.
Ian or Gail, can you update us or remind us about borrowing steps that true up against this? Where do we stand? We're doing borrowing in chunks.
Yeah, that's a Gail question.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. So yes, Court,
Gail, I don't want to put you on the spot. Anytime.
we borrowed last spring and we are in the process of reviewing this cash flow projection and getting ready for the upcoming borrowing that'll happen in the springtime this year. So we're looking at the current projections as well as monitoring the contingency and any other items to look at what we would need to borrow in the spring. So it's a monthly process that we're going through, reviewing actual projections against what we borrowed and then preparing for the upcoming borrowing.
Good, thank you. And increased borrowing costs are not going to show up here, correct? They're going to show up elsewhere.
Correct. That would be, this is just the pure cash portion of it, not any interest costs.
Right, thank you.
I guess just as long as we're on that subject though, are we talking about bond anticipation notes so far, or have we what's been permanently financed, and are we talking about a bond anticipation note in the spring?
Currently, we did permanent borrowing last spring. So we did one portion the year before and one last year, and we're in the process now of looking at what would make the most sense in the upcoming spring based upon where we are and what we're anticipating for the upcoming year. So those are discussions that we're currently having. No final decision has been made as to permanent or a ban.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next is the TRC update. So this is showing the CTA change order 4 here that we'll be reviewing today. That's already been through the TRC, 13,338.04. This just shows the budget adjustment required for that to draw down from hard cost contingency to cover that change order. And then these are the invoices since the last time we met. So, and we have SMMA's progress payment. We have one for AKF, the commissioning agent. We have one for FINA, who does the materials testing on site. Multivista is the site camera that we have available throughout construction. The second one from SMA is their sub-consultants. This is CTA's invoice for January, number 9. And then there was a invoice from Concord Legal as well that we processed. So those are all the invoices for the month. Contingency usage, we're still at 2% used so far from hard cost contingency. We're forecasting another 6% with the current potential changes. And then soft cost, I don't think there was any changes since last month, 4% for utilized soft cost contingency. So
Ian, thanks for the chart. That's easy to understand. Thank you.
that was the goal. So good. Thank you. So we'll move on to the change order from CTA. It's comprised of 3 PCOs. One's related to a proposal request, adding conduits per CMLP requests. So that's something that we work with just to make sure that we had conduits in place from A to B captured as an ad. One's related to an RFI that just had some missing drain lines that weren't shown on the drawing. So that's what that PCO is. And then the other one was related to some trees that fell from the school's property onto the project site. They fell on fences. They damaged the fences and the erosion control. So we had to get those cleaned up quickly and re-secure the site. Something that was really no fault of the contractor. So just quantified that and wanted to get them paid for doing that cleanup work. So the total is $13,338 and 4 cents. And those were the 3 PCOs that were included.
Ian, just a question on the first one. So CMLP requested additional conduits that we weren't aware of.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Maybe Jen can speak to the scope a little
Sure.
more clearly.
Yeah, I think as the PV project was progressing at a different level, there were some additional conduits that, in further coordination with them after we had already gone out to bid, that just needed to be added to the project.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other
So
questions?
yeah, I was gonna say these have been reviewed and vetted at the TRC level. So I think they're making a recommendation for approval of these.
Pat, you want a motion at this point or later in the meeting?
I see no reason why we shouldn't just approve it now.
Move to
Or not approve it.
as submitted.
So yes, I would like a motion, Court.
Yeah, move to approve as submitted.
I'll second that.
Okay. Court Booth?
Uh,
Oh, any
aye.
discussion?
The only thing I was going to say is that we've reviewed and approved all 3 of the change orders. They seem fully reasonable and are acceptable to the TRC.
Thank you, Steve.
And for the audience, TRC, Technical Review Committee, the group that meets constantly to provide a level of oversight.
Thanks, Court.
Okay,
I vote aye.
Heather Bout,
I,
Peter Fishalis,
Aye.
Don Guerrero.
Yeah.
Lori Hunter,
yes.
Mark Howell,
Yes.
Pat Nelson, yes. Charlie Parker,
Yes.
Matt Root,
Yes.
and Stephen Stashewski.
Yes.
Okay, passes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
So the last thing we had is just a construction update since the last meeting. So I'll walk you through the buildings, building by building. So just a refresher, C is the one closest to the existing middle school, and then working your way west is building B and then building A. So we have the most complete in building C. And these are some of the snapshots that you see now of building C from the exterior with the sheathing and the air vapor barrier up, and they've started masonry here. So as far as the snapshot of building C, we've got concrete is 100% complete. We've got spray applied fireproofing at 60%. They're about 75% complete with the exterior framing and sheathing at this point. About 50% on the air vapor barrier, which is the shiny surface here that you see, the metallic looking surface here. Exterior masonry has commenced since we last met. They're about 20% complete. They started on the east facade here of building C, and they're working their way on the south facade. So that's what some of these enclosures are. They have to keep it at a certain temperature to do masonry in the winter months. So they're keeping things concealed and heated to do their masonry work. The interior framing is ongoing. They're still doing duct hangers and prepping for duct work, more duct work in building C. They've started electrical rough-in February, so they're starting to see some more rough-in work in the interior walls and whatnot for electrical. They started stairs in building C1, so we'll start to be able to utilize those stairs to get from floor to floor in the near future. We've got roofing installed at about 40% in building C, and the plumbing has continued to their rough-in. They're about 50% complete in building C. On building B, less going on, but still making progress here. They've got steel detailing that's ongoing in building B. They've got one of two slabs. It's the bigger of the two, so it's 80% complete. They're still doing duct hangers and plumbing rough in building B as well. And then building A has got basically steel detailing and some underground plumbing that's ongoing in A. On the site work front, the cast and the ramp and the cast in place wall behind building B is 95% complete. They've got backfill that's in progress there. Same with the south elevation, the segmental wall that runs along the back of the building here is 95% complete. They're need sign off on that before they start backfilling, but that's gonna happen in the near future. They've started installing the segmental wall at the north elevation as well. So on the other side of the building, closest to the street, there's a segmental wall that goes in there. And then, site work again is slower during the winter months, but they're making progress where they can. Charlie, did you have a question?
Actually, I just see the building mock-up performance testing to occur week of February 26th. That's what I was interested in hearing about. So I guess you're going to get to that.
Yeah, they installed, I'll jump to it now. So for the mock-up, they installed the windows. They did caulking They were just waiting for everything to cure, so that they could do the performance testing. So that is scheduled the week of the 26th. We're ironing out exact date and time with the testing agent, but SGH is going to be performing that testing. And
We'll
we'll
start getting reports next month, maybe.
Yeah, we'll have a report following this. And yeah, they'll start doing more inspections as they have facade work ongoing. So correct me if I'm wrong, but they have not visited the site for in-place inspections on the facade yet. But that'll happen once they get more work in place. Other highlights: the transformer for the temporary power was installed. You can see it over here. CMLP put that in for the building's use, but essentially what we have is a generator powering that up and pushing power through the building right now until they get it wired into their grid. So FF&E, the furniture was delivered. Some of the furniture was delivered to the school this week and was reviewed by the CMS staff. So that was one exciting thing that happened. I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, Lori, or have any comments about the process. You're on mute.
Yeah, sure. Happy to. That's a small portion of what's at the school, what you have in the photo. So there's furniture set up in the teacher's room and a system where they can literally sit and give us their feedback. Obviously, we're going to make final decisions, but we're glad to have their input. So there's some student furniture and some adult furniture and some of the stools. It's a little bit of everything. So yeah, it's been fun to see it all come in. And I was over there sitting myself yesterday for a little while. So.
It's pretty thrilling, Lori, to see
Yeah.
the actual what's going to be inside this building.
Yes.
While we watch the outside go up.
Yes, it does feel like a step. I'll see if Justin can grab a photo with all of it for you.
Yep, that's great. Just a refresher on furniture and technology. You know, we essentially have a parallel path running where we're going to be procuring all the furniture within the building and the technology within the building. So things that we have laid out a schedule for 2024, trying to get everything delivered, you know, in early 2025, basically January 2025, to get everything in the building and have it ready to go for when the building is occupied. So just a few more shots here. A few more photos. This is the building C south facade, so you can see the other side of the building and the progress that they've made there on the exterior. Here's some shots up on the roof. So they've got roofing ongoing there. Here's a shot of some of the stairs that have gone in so far. So we've got the Miss Metals contractor out there working on that. And this is the drone capture for the end of January. Just gives you a better perspective of where we're at in the process here. And that's all we had for today for the construction portion.
Just a general question. Are there any tasks that are behind from a schedule perspective or critically behind? And what's the overall schedule variance on the project?
Yep. So we received a revised baseline schedule from CTA. We have reviewed it. We had our in-house scheduler review it and do a technical analysis on it. It's basically a 13-page document that has comments and feedback to CTA about the schedule. But essentially it's the schedule that they submitted is in good working condition. It's something that we can accept as a baseline schedule. It adheres to the contractual completion dates that we have asked them to. So it shows January 16th, 2025 as the substantial completion for phase one, and it has September 12th, 2025 for substantial completion of phase two. There's an acceptable amount of critical or near critical schedule activities on it. So it's something that we can accept and track moving forward. A portion of the comments that we provided are just a few tasks that we thought that they might be behind on at this point, based on our review of things in the field, and when they needed to start a few tasks and complete a few tasks. They're mostly surrounding sheathing and air vapor barrier installation. I'm trying to think what some of the other tasks were. I think there were a few concrete things that we commented on. So there are a few things that we think are behind, but we need them to tell us, how that could potentially impact their critical path. And if it does, then we need them to also tell us how they're going to recover, because they own this schedule, and they need to manage it accordingly. So
if I heard you correctly, you mentioned September 2025. Is there any impact from there to the projected opening date?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Did you not refer to September 2025 a few moments ago?
I did. That's for phase two. Phase two is the demo of the existing school in the fields. And so that date hasn't changed. That date has been held firm.
So that's strictly demo on the other side. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I guess as long as we're on the subject of demo, I know we ran into some unexpected surprises at the high school that I think resulted in a $2 million expenditure we hadn't projected. Lessons learned there. Are we doing anything with the current building, or can we, to ascertain the accuracy of our demo cost projections? How sound do we think they are?
Jen, I don't know. You want to speak to some of the
Yeah, I mean, we
hazardous
during
materials?
the design process, we did have our hazmat consultants go in, and they do testing of suspect materials so that they can gauge, project a budget for what those costs would be, or what needs to be abated before the building gets demolished. So, I mean, we're pretty confident. That's not to say 100% that there are some unknowns, but we did do testing to confirm the suspect materials during design.
That's good to hear that we've got a reasonably high level of confidence. Thank you.
I would say we're confident, yes.
Matt, I see your hand up.
Just have a quick follow-up to last meeting about a lead progress report, and if CTA has issued that, and if that could be shared with the committee.
Yes, I think we're close to sharing that. We're cleaning up some things with them, but we should get a cleaned up, more updated report for the February rec. So we'll send that along. We'll make sure we send whatever we have to you before the next building committee meeting.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Yep.
Okay, I don't see any other hands. CPC funding update? Do we have anything?
Nothing's changed. As far as I know, we're still in the queue, headed toward the town meeting discussion, so we can keep everybody posted.
Great, thank you. Any new business? Seeing none, I will move on to public comment. Any public comment? Christine, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Just one question. At the last meeting, there was discussion of winter condition potential change orders because of the speed at which materials might set. And I know, Ian, you didn't mention anything about that this time. Is that passed or is it still being discussed? Any update on that would be helpful.
Yep. Yeah, we're still tracking those costs. And so far we have 2 potential changes submitted from CTA that we have vetted and provided comments on. I think we're on the 2nd round of revisions there. We're going to continue to track this through April 1st. That was the window that we gave them was anything from November 1st to April 1st. Winter conditions related was reimbursable for specific tasks that they didn't plan on doing in the winter months. So that's what we're tracking now, and we've got we're going to continue to have more change orders that they submit to us that we have to review and vet. We haven't gotten to a point where we can present that to this committee at this point because we just need them to clean up some of their paperwork. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
So don't see any other hands up. So next steps in our next meeting.
Yes. Next meeting is it's the 3rd Thursday in March, which is the 21st, March 21st.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Actually, wait, Pat, sorry,
Oh.
I was looking for the hand, but a quick comment on next meetings. I noticed that the April one that Ian sent is during April vacation. Is that gonna work for everyone?
Oh, the 18th,
Yeah.
April 18th. Yeah.
We should pull that to before or after the break.
Okay, so Lori is suggesting we move that to before or after the break.
Yeah, if we're gonna, let's see. I guess either way is fine.
There are no critical path items or things that'll come up.
The May meeting's on the 16th of May.
You might want to go before then, so they're kind of evenly spread.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to move it to the 11th, April 11th.
Yeah,
That's good.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Right.
thank you. Thanks for looking that far ahead, Heather.
Yeah, thanks,
problem.
Heather. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much.
We'll see you
Thank
in
you all.
March.